Are you intrigued by Morocco? Have you seen the images, the colors, the streets, tasted the food, and sensed there's something there? A deeper sense of beauty, of life being lived well? But you don't want to experience a place like this superficially. You don't want to just pass through it. In this video, I'm going to take you through 5 cities in Morocco. Not a checklist, but as a way of entering that world and experiencing its unique visions of beauty and the good life. Of course, like anywhere, Morocco has its share of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Without denying that life can be tough at times, I want to focus on the unique visions of beauty and the good life that Morocco offers. We'll journey from the coast, into the mountains, through the harmonized chaos of its historic cities, and into spaces of intensity, subtlety, and spirituality. We'll begin to see a uniquely Islamic synthesis, drawing from Arabia, Africa, and the Mediterranean. Because Morocco is all of this: bustling, contemplative, agricultural, nomadic, urban, intellectual, refined, historical, and contemporary. Let's jump in. But first, I'm Dr. Jason Idriss Sparkes, street scholar and poet, exploring visions of the good life and beauty in Islamic contexts with you. Number 5 on our list marks the beginning of our journey. We arrive by sea, Tangier, a city of thresholds, a meeting point of worlds where the Mediterranean meets the Atlantic, where Africa faces Europe, and on most days, you can clearly see Spain across the water. For millennia, the area has gathered layers: African, Phoenician, Roman, Jewish, Arabian, and later Portuguese, French, and Spanish presences. During the colonial period, it became an international zone, administered by multiple European powers with a unique status between worlds. All these currents flow through the city's architecture, its languages, the way people move. You feel this as you walk through the city, from cafés overlooking the Strait of Gibraltar, to the narrow streets of the souk, to beaches and hotels that host travelers from across the world, to mosques and churches. Tangier has long drawn writers and artists, figures like Paul Bowles, William Burroughs, and Jean Genet, many of whom spent time here, captivated by its light, its openness, its difference. You can still sit at places like Café Hafa, looking out over the water, watching ships pass, feeling that same pull. And yet, for all that fascination, what many of these figures encountered was often only part of the picture, because what gives Tangier its coherence, what holds together these layers, African, Arab, Mediterranean, European, is not simply its openness or its cosmopolitanism. It's a deeper rhythm. You hear it in the call to prayer. You see it in the pacing of the day, in the way people sit, wait, move, return. An underlying harmony shaped by Islam. That doesn't always announce itself, but quietly orders the life of the city. Tangier receives the world, but it does not dissolve into it. And if you begin to see that here, at the edge, at the crossing, then you're ready to continue the journey. Follow me now from the spectacular Mediterranean coast inland, into the reef mountains of northern Morocco, to the blue city of Chefchaouen, number 4 on our list. This is a photographer's paradise, a place that continues to draw travelers, artists, and vloggers from around the world. It's also still part of the so-called hippie trail that begins in Tangier, where some come looking to lose themselves in the landscape, in the atmosphere, and yes, often in clouds of homegrown smoke. The nature is undeniably stunning, and the city's unforgettable with its blue-washed walls and narrow, winding streets. if you look deeper, with intention, you realize that you've arrived in a deeply spiritual and historically significant location. This city was not built for tourism. Founded in the 15th century, Chefchaouen was a mountain fortress, built by Muslims and Jews fleeing the Reconquista. It was a base of resistance from which to confront Portuguese and Spanish incursions along the coast and at sea, as well as a mountain refuge. It's also the homeland of Sayyid al-Hurra, an early modern Sufi, governor of Tétouan, and eventually Queen of Morocco. A whole video on this channel is devoted to this remarkable Muslim woman, whose life embodies Chefchaouen's fusion of spirituality, leadership, and resistance. I've also written an academic article about her, which you can find in the description. So, beyond the images, beyond the color, Chefchaouen carries a deeper presence, a quiet strength, where beauty, refuge, and dignity are held together. Number 3 on our list is Rabat. From the Rif Mountains, we continue our journey south, driving through landscapes that shift from rugged heights into cultivated valleys. The road is sometimes bumpy, but always spectacular. We pass through olive country. At times, the air fills with the unmistakable, pungent scent of freshly pressed olive oil. Along the way, we pass near Wazan, a green city, in quiet contrast to the blue of nearby Chefchaouen, known for its many saints and its spiritual legacy. The locals tell you it's the city of 100 mausoleums where 99 Muslims and 1 Jewish saint are laid to rest. You begin to notice something here. Each city in Morocco carries its own color, its own atmosphere, its own way of being, a harmonized diversity, not random, but held together. Eventually, we arrive. Rabat, the capital, an imperial city. Today, Rabat is the political heart of Morocco, the seat of the monarchy, government, and diplomacy. It's also a cosmopolitan place of learning where universities shape the rhythm of daily life. Books are everywhere, sold in shops, street stalls, and even laid out on blankets along the sidewalk. Parts of the city feel ordered, composed, with wide avenues, modern infrastructure, and a distinctly French sense of planning. And yet, like the places we've seen before, Rabat carries many layers. There's a Roman past, a long Jewish presence, and a history of resistance along the Atlantic coast. What European sources once called piracy, but which was locally understood as a form of naval resistance to Christian invaders. It's also a city of saints and scholars with a deep Sufi heritage, standing alongside its twin city, Sali, just across the river. Living alongside and even interlaced with the new neighborhoods, we discovered the historic quarters, like the Kasbah of the Udayas, where the city opens out toward the ocean. Rabat today is one of the most modern cities in Morocco, connected, even linked to Casablanca and Tangier by high-speed rail. We could have come here directly from Tangier, but that would have been a different journey, because what Rabat offers is not just a destination, but a point of balance between past and present, order and movement. Now let's travel to number 2 on our list of amazing Moroccan cities. From Rabat, we take the high-speed train to Kenitra. From there, a slower, more contemplative ride inland toward Fes. Along the way, we pass through Meknes, another imperial city, quieter but closely related in spirit. If you have time, it's well worth a visit. If not, Fez will give you the depth you're looking for. And then we arrive. Fez, founded on an older settlement in 809 by Idris II, a descendant of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. It became the first great capital of an Islamic kingdom in Morocco, and remains to this day its spiritual and cultural heart. It's long been a place of refuge for Muslims and for Jews fleeing Al-Andalus, a city where knowledge, devotion, and community were rebuilt in exile. At its center stands the University of Al-Qarawiyyin, the oldest continuously operating university in the world, founded by a woman who came from a scholarly family in Tunisia. And then we enter the Medina, a vast living labyrinth, the largest pedestrian Medina in the world with over 9,000 alleyways twisting through its dense fabric. No cars, no clear direction, just movement, voices, trade, life. It can feel overwhelming. The streets narrow, merchants call out, you're drawn, pulled, redirected, and everywhere craft, leather being dyed in ancient tanneries, metal hammered into form, wood carved into astonishing precision, textiles, ceramics, calligraphy. Entire traditions not only displayed, but lived, experienced. And then our senses come alive. We start to experience everything more sharply, indeed, more deeply. This is a city of sophisticated cuisine. From the simplest street food, quick, accessible, but never careless, to elaborate palace dishes, layered, balanced, and highly refined. The sweetness of dates and almonds, the rising scent of incense, the sharp tang of leather and dye, and always the presence of mint tea, poured slowly, deliberately, as a gesture of refinement and hospitality. And then we step through a doorway, a courtyard, a madrasa, a zawiya. Silence, light, water, stillness. What felt like chaos reveals another order. We contemplate an inner architecture of knowledge, worship, design, and we admire some of the finest examples of Islamic calligraphy, decoration, and gardening. Beyond the Medina, the French-built Ville Nouvelle opens outward with wide boulevards and modern planning. It's built deliberately to preserve the integrity of the old city. And nearby, the old Jewish quarter remains, a reminder of a long history of coexistence, still honored today by those who return as visitors and pilgrims. Fez is not easy, but if you stay, if you move beyond the first impression, it becomes one of the most profound experiences Morocco has to offer. A city of overwhelming intensity, held together by knowledge, craft, and a deep spiritual life. If you're enjoying my explorations of beauty and excellence in Islamic contexts, please feel free to share the love by liking, commenting, sharing your thoughts, subscribing, and of course, offering a prayer. And now, let's go to the number one city on our list, Marrakesh. Now, to be clear, this does not mean that it's my favorite city. That's not a choice I can make. There are simply too many cities I love in Morocco. In fact, Morocco itself resists this kind of ranking. It's a land of extraordinary diversity, regions, landscapes, traditions, each with its own rhythm, its own beauty, and its own way of life. There are so many places we could have included: Casablanca, Tétouan, Oujda, Merzouga, Agadir, each offering its own expression of beauty and the good life. So this is not a definitive list. It's simply one path into this amazing land. And yet there's a reason why Marrakesh stands at the top of this list. It's the most visited city in Morocco by both international and domestic travelers. And once we arrive, we begin to understand why. If Fes drew us inward, Marrakesh brings us into the open. It's set on a plateau between the Middle Atlas and the High Atlas Mountains, whose snow-capped peaks, the highest in Africa, rise in the distance. The city is red, warm, expansive. Here, life is lived publicly. At the heart of Marrakesh is the public square called Jama al-Fna, the only UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized not for its physical characteristics, like its architecture, but for its intangible cultural heritage, namely its living oral culture, where storytelling, performance, and tradition are carried on in the open air. There we discover food stalls, performers, storytellers, and a dazzling array of people, especially at night. It draws in locals, travelers, workers, artists, snakes, monkeys, donkeys, jinn, and hopefully some angels. When we're tired, we take it all in from the second floor terrace of a cafe overlooking the Great Square. Perhaps more than any other city in Morocco, Marrakesh gathers the world. It is at once a youth destination, a place of energy, nightlife, and celebration, and one of the most luxurious environments in the country, with riads, luxury hotels, gardens, golf courses, and some of the finest local and international cuisine. The palm groves stretch outward. The gardens offer shade and repose. Museums, festivals, and gatherings, including its well-known comedy festival, mark it as a global cultural hub. And yet, this is not simply a place of spectacle. Because beneath all this intensity, there's a soft order. Marrakesh is also a deeply spiritual city, held in local understanding by its 7 patron saints, a quieter network of presence available for those who seek it. Its excess is held together. What seems like chaos is carried by a rhythm. Marrakesh is where Morocco expresses itself most fully, open, generous, intense, and alive. And if we've come this far, from the threshold of Tangier through the stillness of Chefchaouen, the balance of Rabat, the depth of Fez, then, here, in Marrakesh, we begin to look south to the high mountains and the vast desert. But that is a whole other adventure I would not dare compress into the same journey. We've seen enough to meditate and thank Allah for the generous land of the Islamic Far West, Morocco. Until next time, Salam.